Welcome back to Proverbs 24. Hope you've been enjoying this 31 Days of Wisdom Challenge with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe and be listening for your favorite verse that you can comment below when you hear it. So let's go ahead and get started. Proverbs 24. Do not be envious of evil men, nor desire to be... Marvy. Proverbs 24. Do not be envious of evil men, nor desire to be with them, for their heart devises violence, and their lips talk of troublemaking. Through wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it is established. By knowledge the rooms are filled with all precious and pleasant riches. A wise man is strong. Yes, a man of understanding increases strength. For by wise counsel you will wage your own war, and in a multitude of counselors there is safety. Wisdom is too lofty for a fool. He does not open his mouth in the gate. He who plots to do evil will be called a schemer. The devising of foolishness is sin, and the scoffer is an abomination to men. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Deliver those who are drawn toward death, and hold back those stumbling to the slaughter. If you say, "Surely we did not know this," does not he who weighs the heart consider it? He who keeps your soul, does he not know it? And will he not render to each man according to his deeds? My son, eat honey because it is good, and the honeycomb which is sweet to your taste. So shall the knowledge of wisdom be to your soul. If you have found it, there is a prospect, and your hope will not be cut off. Do not lie in wait, O wicked man, against the dwelling of the righteous. Do not plunder his resting place. For a righteous man may fall 7 times and rise again, but the wicked shall fall by calamity. Do not rejoice when your enemy falls, and do not let your heart be glad when he stumbles, lest the Lord see it and it displease him, and he turn away his wrath from him. Do not fret because of evildoers, nor be envious of the wicked, for there will be no prospect for the evil man. The lamp of the wicked will be put out. My son, fear the Lord and the king. Do not associate to those given to change, for their calamity will rise suddenly, and who knows what ruin those two can bring. These things also belong to the wise. It is not good to show partiality in judgment. He who says to the wicked, "You are righteous," him the people will curse, nations will abhor him. But those who rebuke the wicked will have delight, and a good blessing will come upon them. He who gives a right answer kisses the lips. Prepare your outside work, make it fit for yourself in the field, and afterward build your house. Do not be a witness against your neighbor without cause, for would you deceive with your lips? Do not say to him, "I will do to him just as he has done to me. I will render the man according to his work." I went by the field of the lazy man, and by the vineyard of the man devoid of understanding. And there it was, all overgrown with their thorns. Its surfaces was covered with nettles. Its stone wall was broken down. When I saw it, I considered it well. I looked on it and received instruction. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and so shall your poverty come like a prowler, and your need like an armed man. Proverbs 24. All right, let's jump in with some awesome commentary. All right, there are a bunch of great ones in this chapter. Let's jump right into verse 6. Bet you'll never guess what this one's going to be. A multitude of counselors. That's right. For by wise counsel you will wage your own war, and in a multitude of counselors there is safety. There's that multitude of counselors. It's just so important. It just seems so common sense to me. And to think that there are some people who don't go seek out counsel, who don't go listen to those godly people in their life. But this isn't just some ultra spiritual thing. This is just common sense. If you're making a business decision, if you're making a legal decision, if you're making a medical decision, you go speak to multiple doctors. You go speak to multiple financial advisors. You go speak to multiple lawyers. You can speak to multiple pastors. And when you're making even just a simple decision, a simple decision you should be able to make, but when you're making a decision, how important it is to be able to go to people in your life that you trust and have them speak wise counsel into your life. And one thing that's interesting that I wanted to clarify, I think that some people tend to not want to take counsel because they think that they will have to take it. But the point is not to do necessarily what someone says, but it's to seek that counsel and then weigh the options and then go ahead and move forward with something. It's not that I went to my pastor and he said X, so I'm going to do this. Or I went to so and so and he said do this, so I'm going to do that. It's you go to the multitude of counselors, you weigh all the different options, and then you choose the path that is the best for you. Just a completely, secular standpoint. Or, you gather all of the wisdom and the knowledge, you pray about it, you seek the Lord, and you determine which is the best path for you to follow. But I love that verse 6, and I think that's my favorite one from this chapter. For by wise counsel you will wage your own war, and in a multitude of counselors there is safety. So it's so important. Hear from those people, distill it down, seek the Lord, pray about it, move forward with a decision that you've made. All right, here we go. Verse 21 again. My son, fear the Lord and the king. And then what's interesting is in verse 23 it says, these things also belong to the wise. So it's good to study this section so that you can see, well, what do the wise do? Well, they don't show partiality in judgment, which means that everybody gets judged equally. Doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, doesn't matter your class, doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how much power you have, what race you are, you need to show partiality in judgment. It doesn't matter anything except the law. And that's what God is so excellent at. He knows how to show no partiality in judgment. We're all wicked, evil sinners destined for hell. And that's his judgment. Somehow, he has given the way of escape, and some will turn and repent from their sin, but Christ is our example, and he shows no partiality in judgment. And then verse 30 through 34 is so interesting. I really appreciate in verse 32, it really gives some interest into the mind when he says, when I saw it, I considered it well. I looked on it and received instruction. I really appreciate, he could have left that out, but I really appreciate that he actually put this in. I went by the field of lazy man, and here's what I learned when I saw it. He didn't just say, don't be lazy, your poverty will come upon you like a prowler. He actually took us through that process. And that's what I really appreciate is when we see something, what are we taking away from that? When we see someone who's made a poor decision, how do we look on that and take it away? Because as Solomon says, when I saw it, I considered it well, I looked on it and received instruction. And I seek to do that all the time. When I see someone making a poor decision, I look at it, I consider it well, and I receive instruction. Hopefully, that's what I try to do. When someone makes a wise decision, and I look at it, I consider it well, and hopefully I will receive instruction from that. And so I really appreciate this Proverbs as well. This is another great chapter, and I hope you'll comment your favorite verse below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you back here for Proverbs 25.